What is up, RetroManiacs? Welcome to the Retro Card Chat Podcast. My name is Mike, and I am from Mike's Retro Trading Cards, and I'm joined by two guys that are forever, eternally grateful to the Mikester for introducing the Geoff Wilson Show to their YouTube algorithm. How about it, guys? You're welcome.
I didn't
of course.
Mikester. I don't know if I've ever called you Mikester before. I'm going to now. Kind of now.
I am now the Mikester. They are, of course, Joe Day and EP Eric Pahowick. Easy for me to say. How you doing, boys?
Eric Powick. Yeah, I didn't click on the video. I'm not that dumb. I'm not fault. Fool me once.
Oh, come on.
Fool me once.
I clicked on it and it started playing, and I was like, wait a minute. This feels like one of those videos where somebody's talking. There's adding extra stuff in because they're gonna try to stretch this out to a video. I checked the time, 28 minutes. Like, nope.
Oh yeah, as soon as EP said it was 28 minutes long, I'm like, absolutely not. Like I was not really on the fence about this. I wasn't gonna click on it, but once you said 28 minutes, I'm like, I'm out. Geoff Wilson for 28 straight minutes of just talking into the camera, right? Is that what it is?
Yeah,
yeah.
All it is.
I'm a hard pass on that. Wolf.
Of course, they are talking about the Geoff Wilson is breaking evil video that he dropped this past week, and we'll get to that a little later in the podcast.
No spoilers, because I might watch
spoilers. It. Yeah, there are going to be a lot of spoilers, but now we have to talk about it since we brought it up. But hey, how you doing, boys?
I'm doing good. So, boys, I've famously cracked cards out of cases on this channel before. We've all, EP, I don't know if you have you cracked any cases yet?
I have, yeah. I cracked a couple out of an SGC.
You've cracked cases, yeah. Mike, you've cracked cases. I've cracked cases. Okay. So, I'm having my morning coffee and I'm looking at all my eBay save search emails come in, as one does. And I'm putting together this one set. It's a pretty valuable set. The cards don't come up very often. So a card popped up on eBay and I clicked on it and it was a ComC card. And I'm like, yes, I can go to ComC, just buy it there, save like $30, I think it was. And it's a card that I am not putting into, or it's a card that I would not grade. It's going into a binder, sleeve top loader page type of situation. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to buy it. It's a PSA 8, whatever. I'm going to crack it out. No big deal. Now, I've cracked PSA slabs several times to release them from their prisons, so to speak. Unless it's a PSA 10. Like, that's probably the only, if I'm going to buy some, if you're paying a premium for a 10, I'm not going to crack that out. But like a PSA 8, and it sold for less than a raw one sold for that I was looking at a few weeks earlier. So I got it in the mail, looked beautiful. Like, it actually looked really nice in this PSA slab, like really, really crystal clear slab. But I'm not keeping into that. So I get my usual tools out, right? I get my tile clips, right? I get my screwdriver and I take the tile clips, and the tile clips, for some reason, it's almost like the case was thinner. So I couldn't really get a good handle on the tile clips. I'm like, this is weird. Okay. So then I go and I get like what are they? Like the stub nose? No. Oh, okay. The stub nose pliers. Yeah. Maybe we'll get to that. But anyway, so I get the stub nose pliers and I like try and snap. You know how some people just snap along the edge, and that's I'm like, okay, I've tried that, and they're not working. And I'm like, what is happening here? I finally was able to get this card out. Let me just show you. So this card is it's 98 million. So it's recently graded. Okay. So brand new, lighthouse. Let me show you the case here, boys.
Odd.
Wow.
When I tried to snap it out of the case, it was almost like, imagine cutting saran wrap with scissors. It bended. It didn't crack. It bended.
Is that the professional medical grade plastic that they were talking about using?
That's what this is.
Oh, okay.
Because I literally had to then take needle nose pliers and pull you can see this part. This is where the card went in. Okay. I had to like pull it off, and you can see it's like, it's not cracking. It's like bending.
Yeah.
So I had to bend open and slide the card. Praise be, no damage to the card. No damage to the autograph, no damage to the card. Everything looks great. But holy crap. So I'm just telling you, if part of your strategy with hobbying is cracking stuff out of PSA cases, if they are this new medical grade stuff, it doesn't crack. It bends. So like, be careful out there, kids. I mean, that's no joke right there. Like, and again, I'm not a newbie at this. I've cracked cases before, all the different brands. PSA, I cracked a PSA one just a couple of weeks ago, and guess what? One snip with the tile clips and the screwdriver, and it pops right out. These do not. So just a little, I don't know, little word to the wise.
I had one that I popped out that was graded not too long ago, and I didn't have any trouble with it. So
I think people have talked about PSA using different, like just going through their slab inventory.
Yeah,
I don't know, like how much was the card that you got? Like what service would it have been put through? Do you know what I mean?
Just value, yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they're using the old ones up for value, because this was a little bit more of an expensive card. So I don't know. Like, by the way, the case looked way better. It looked crystal clear. It looked better, but I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, Nat. I'm sure you're watching. Like, let us know what's going on here with this, because if you get one of these slabs, it's going to be very, very difficult for you to crack them out. Like, legit, just snap them off.
Also, comment about backyard breaks being in the PSA.
Yeah. While you're commenting on this,
just let us know. Yeah.
So I tried to snap off the bottom as you would, snap across and no, it just bends. It didn't snap or crack or anything. It just bent. So yeah, crazy. I'll tell you what, that was probably a 45-minute job, and I'm like panicking the whole time. It's like I said,
I wish it was on video.
I know. I famously can't rewatch where you're cracking I don't even know if I watched to the end. You cracking that Tom Brady rookie card out, the Bowman Brady rookie card out, because that, like, I mean, I was sitting there sweating just watching you. I can't imagine your reactions as you're trying to break this thing. All of a sudden, it's only bending. You're like, what the F? It's just bending.
And it's that card's probably worth 10% of that Brady card. So it's not like, it wasn't super crazy. It would have been a kick right in the old nads if it came out damaged. But like, yeah, so be careful. If you notice that the case looks a little bit different, be prepared to have to bend the case. I almost had to wake Rob up and be like, dude, I need your tiny little hands to reach in there and pull the card out, because the case, it was easy to bend, not easy, but it was easier to bend, and at no point did it crack. At no point did it crack. I was like cutting it with pliers with a little sharp edge in the middle, cutting it like you would cut saran wrap with scissors. It was an ordeal, boys.
So that was your week, EP.
I mean, not nearly as harrowing as Joe's, of course, obviously.
I guess.
I mean, my week was fine when I crack open a little beverage here, but I bought some cards from my buddy Mike up there. Just a few, couple the
Mikester, you mean?
From the Mikester, yeah, from the Mikester.
We're not making that a thing.
A few boxes. I probably took maybe half of it, and there's so many cards. It's a lot of cards, but I mean, it's all football, a lot of cool stuff. So I got through Braylon Edwards, Cedric Ellis, and looked through some of the Jamal Andersons. So yeah, I mean, like it's it's awesome stuff, very, very cool stuff. A lot of it though, so I need to find a way to move some of it.
Yes, a lot of it, and I still have more here waiting for you to get it. So yeah, that's a big ass collection. Just keeps giving. So
it does actually.
Hope you find some good stuff in there. There should be good stuff. I could not have picked it all out because I didn't. I looked at the players I wanted to look at, but there's a lot of players I didn't look at all. So
yeah, in the Braylon Edwards grouping alone, I found a blue refractor, a green finest refractor, a couple other numbered cards, and one numbered to 50. So yeah, I found some good stuff in there so far. Just a couple players through. So
awesome. Well, I did a thing this week. I used to have a series of videos on the channel, like how to lose money ripping retail. And, I decided not to record my happenings over the last week, but I probably should have, because this would have fell in line with pretty much everything else. I opened, for some reason, I thought it'd be a good idea to open 10 blasters of 2025 Bowman baseball. So I'm here. Ask me anything you want to know about opening 10 blasters of Bowman baseball. Yeah, CP.
I would like the first question, because as somebody who back in 2021, 2022, I too ordered like 10 blasters of Bowman blasters, and I think I opened like 6 of them. And so my first question to you is, did you get any color at all out of your blasters?
Well, funny you should ask. I actually got 3.
Oh, wow. Shoot.
I got a purple out of, I can't see the number from here, 199. I've got the paper yellow, whatever that was. I can't.
I think canary yellow, maybe
75. That's numbered out of, and then the blue shimmer, I believe that is out of 150. So they probably have a lot more different parallels in it now, EP. So that's probably why I got 3.
Yeah. I got skunked, man. I don't think I got any color at all. Like I opened, like I said, 6 of those blasters. I don't think I got
Question number 2: how much per blaster?
They were $29.95.
Okay.
So a little higher than what Top Stuff has been, but cheaper than Panini, right? If you
I was thinking
$5 cheaper.
I was thinking $50 actually. I thought they would have raised the price up to like $50 maybe. So
they did. I got 2 autographs.
Wow.
Look at that. 1 paper, 1 chrome. I don't think either one is worth much anything, and I have a whole box here of other cards to, put away and probably not look at again ever. So yeah, that was my decision.
How were the inserts in this year's Bowman?
You get a lot of them. Let me pull out the insert pile here.
There were a couple sets last year that I thought were kind of cool looking. That's why I was wondering. Oh, wow. Okay.
Those are just the inserts?
Yeah. I do like these.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
Kind of cool.
Die cut. Yeah, that's cool.
They also, I have like a shimmer version of one of those, but I don't know. There's nothing. I mean, they all pretty much look the same. It doesn't matter what they are. They have like the rock star. But then they have this one, and then they have like this one with the like AI card shop. Although I got the Otani of that one. Yeah. So I mean, it's just like everything else. They're just all the same. They're all the same. So I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what I was looking for. I don't know why I did it. I just did it. Every year I open some Bowman and just leave it be. Maybe in a couple years there'll be something that can get me like $10 back, but I don't know.
My next question: if you could take that $300-ish and put it towards a non-sports product, would you? In hindsight?
Oh, in hindsight, yeah, of course. But it's kind of thing I do every now and then. So yeah, maybe I should have just bought into breaks. That would have been better from what I heard.
They are not evil.
But hey, we are not to that point yet. But let's get to the point where we start talking about stuff, because for the first time in a couple weeks, there's actually some news going on this week. Did you hear this news, though? PSA wants to clean your cards. Wait. No, now they don't. They wanted to, but now they don't want to. That's right. Earlier this week, there was a questionnaire sent out to customers of PSA, just judging interest in add-on services. I know there's another one you want to talk to, Joe. We'll get to that after we talk about this main one. The original version of this had an option for $1.99. It is a card cleaning service, and it specifically said cleaning and light buffing service to remove fingerprints, smudges, dust, and minor surface scratches. They don't let you do that with Kurt's Card Care. They've decertified cards that they knew were cleaned in that way. And then all of a sudden people were like, wait, now you're going to sell a service for $2 to do this? Then all of a sudden Ryan Hogue had to go all over social media to get the word out there that no, that's not what we're doing. It was just worded wrong. It's just a wipe down service, just to remove fingerprints, smudge, and dust. Because, with the new eBay partnership, they have a lot of people that are sending cards from eBay right there. And, instead of just wiping the damn fingerprints off like every other grading card company would do for you, they're thinking, oh, let's get $2 a card to do it for people. So yeah, they were going to let you they were going to clean cards for you. You're not allowed to do it, but they are, and they were going to charge you for it. But now they're just going to wipe it off with a microfiber cloth. He also specifically said, because our old buddy Neo said, so does that mean you're not allowing any cleaning solutions? And Ryan Hogue said, no juice, no wax. So I think that was a Mr. Miyagi thing, but I don't know. Maybe not.
All juice, no squeeze. So yeah. So I want to say, when we talked about the Kurt's Card Care thing, I believe I said something to the effect of, they won't allow it until they figure out how to sell it. I'm pretty sure, like, I had made mention of PSA having their own sort of juice to sell. Okay. When you first sent that out, that was my first thought. And then they're like, no, we're not doing that. It's misworded. So did someone who was ever writing this questionnaire fall asleep halfway through and just like land their head on the keyboard and then add the buffing scratches out?
Yeah,
like that's absolutely had to have been what happened. Like,
had to be.
What are we doing here? No, this is called, we sent something out. People were like, wait a minute. And then we had to walk it back. I mean, so yeah, I mean, to your point too about the, I know SGC will wipe fingerprints off of people's cards. So that just kind of tells you, and I'm sure PSA will say, well, we don't want to do that because what if we cause a scratch or whatever? I'm like,
I think one of the things they said that they do that already. I think
some of them they do. Cases, so. Yeah. So like in and of itself, I don't have a problem with the actual like wiping down a card, because the issue is not us, but it feels like most people now are either not looking at cards or not prepping their own cards, or they're buying cards on eBay and just having them sent to PSA now anyway. So I don't know, if you're never going to touch the card and you have to rely on the seller that they, got fingerprints and didn't do anything to the card. So yeah, I mean, should they be charging $2? No, but if they see an opportunity to make money in any way, shape, or form. By the way, how many people, they grade over 1 million cards a month? If only 10% of the people said, yes, clean my cards, that's like $200,000.
Well, they're doing 1.5 million, so it'd be like $300,000 a month just for wiping down the cards.
Right. Like that is, which
may not even need to be wiped down.
May not even need wiped. Yeah. But guess what? As the submitter, you don't know this because you never saw the card. Exactly. You never physically had the card in your hand, so you're going to pay the $2 fee because you just don't know. It's just, I say it all the time about companies. They love money, and they're not going to stop loving money, no matter how much you like that company. No matter what company it is, they will always like money more than they like you. So keep that in mind.
Yeah, I mean, and they're all, like you guys said, like I could see other people who are meticulously cleaning their cards, but they are still going to pay the $2 because they feel like they have a better chance of getting a 10 if they do it. I could totally see people thinking that way, or thinking, well, they're going to be better at it than me, and so I could totally see them paying that. Like this, again, I feel like this is a service they were already doing. They're just trying to find a way to get extra money out of people who are going to click the checkbox because they think they get an extra 10 or get more PSA 10s out of it. I also like this. When they say buffing out the scratches, I have used microfiber cloths. I have a handful of them right here. I've used them a number of times, a number of cards. You cannot just buff out scratches with a microfiber cloth. That does not happen. Scratches are there. They don't go away because of a microfiber cloth. Like that wording, as much as Joe, you said that somebody fell asleep at the wheel and like hit a keyboard and perfectly typed out the words buffing out scratches. Right. Like there, I mean, I don't know where it was in the chain that decided that wording for that, but that's clearly they were trying to sell card cleaning. Like they were trying to sell card cleaning with those words 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you kind of get the feeling, okay, maybe they want to get from point A to point C, and they tried to go all the way from point A to point C in one
Yes.
step. And then they're like, what? You can't do that. So now they're backing it off to point B. But eventually they're going to go after point B becomes the norm. They're going to move to point C. They're going to offer just like the comic book companies do. Like, even though we've talked about the differences, but I feel like PSA wants to change that, not because they care about the cards, but because they see the amount of money they could make off of doing this. Just wiping fingerprints off, you're probably not going to have as many people pay $2 for that service. You have a card that might have a little bit of a scratch on it, and they're offering to try to fix that for $2 or $3 or $4. A lot of people are going to do that, because regardless of what I think or you think, a lot of people do it already. They're doing it. I would imagine a lot of the cards that are being graded, I don't want to throw a percentage out there, but a big number of cards already being graded are ones that have been touched up. They're catching a minor fraction of the cards that are, because how can they tell? We've talked about this forever. Whether you like it or not, the card cleaning is going to become part of the card collecting hobby. They're going to have people pay to do it, and people will pay to do it, just like they do in comic books. It didn't start off the same as comic books, but it's going to end the same. That this is going to be the norm within the next few years, I'm afraid.
Yeah, didn't they already they already somebody did a poll back when we were talking about the card cleaning? Didn't wasn't like half the people or something like that? Like people who are into the ultra modern stuff, they don't care. They're fine with it. Or a lot of them are fine with it. I don't say all of them, but a lot of them are fine with it.
Yeah. If they can't tell, why should they care? And there is kind of a point there, as much as I don't necessarily agree with card cleaning. At the end of the day, if you have no idea it was and it looks beautiful, what difference does it make? I don't know.
It wouldn't shock me too if Hogue came out and said, no, we didn't mean to put that part in there because that's going to be more expensive. That's what's going to be added, right?
Yeah.
So $1.99 or whatever. Yeah. This was great. He's like, whoa, we're not giving that service away for $1.99. That's going to be at least a $9.99 service. Or guess what it's going to be? It's going to be the kind of like they do with card grading now. There's going to be an upcharge. If they cleaned your card and it goes from a whatever to a whatever, I wouldn't be surprised if it's a staggered approach to how much it costs to clean your cards. And
added on to your receipt.
These are all ideas that are on a whiteboard somewhere, guaranteed.
You get $8 per card to clean it, and then you get the upcharge for it being a 10 after you clean it.
Yep.
Yes, absolutely. I can see that being why.
And to EP's point about people might do this because they think if PSA does this, they might see that, I went through their service, and they might give a grade bump. That is not an outlandish statement either, because there are comic book people who literally go through CSS, or is it CCS? It's one of those. That's the comic book. It's the in-house CGC comic book cleaning and pressing. Go through them because in their mind, they feel that if they go through them, CGC will grade their because you can't send in a comic book and you send it through the CGC's internal service and it comes back like a lower grade or a worse grade than you suspected, because then it'd be like, whoa, wait a minute. It's your fault. You did this. So there's this not conspiracy even, but there's a lot of people who believe that if you go through their in-house service, you get a higher grade than you normally would.
All right. Well, other options they had listed on the questionnaire were a fitted card sleeves being added for $2.
Don't do it.
$2. Keep that number in mind there. $2 for a card sleeve. Grader's notes for $7.99, or premium images for $4.99. Who in the hell is gonna pay those prices on stuff? First of all, aren't Grader's notes included above a certain level already? So you can't send in bulk and pay an extra $8 for graders notes. $2, you can buy 2 packs of sleeves for $2. You can have 200 of them. Why in the hell would you pay $2?
They're PSA branded, Mike. Come on, they have that PSA logo on them. And by the way, I'm not paying $2 for you to scratch my case. I have been anti fitted sleeves on this channel. Go watch Little Victories as well. He's talked about this several times. Those things, unless it's the new medical grade plastic, isn't affected by this, which is a possibility too. Those things scratch your cases. They form really weird patterns on them. The plastic touching the plastic. Do not use those. So definitely don't pay $2 for that. For the graders notes, yeah, who's sending in a $20 bulk card and saying, "Hey, charge me $8 for graders notes"? Like, there must be like some sort of median price point where PSA is like, well, over a certain amount, we give you graders notes for free. Under a certain amount, it doesn't make sense. But there's that meaty part in the center where we can gouge people for $8 that we should really look into. And what was the last one, Mike?
The premium imaging for $4.99.
Don't they put pictures up anyway over? I think they do it for bulk now. Yeah, what's the difference? I need to see the difference between a premium, because again, no one looks, for the most part, no one really even looks at the card. They just look at the label, right? Why do I need a premium picture of that card? What's the difference? What are you going to show me in that premium picture that I'm not getting from just the normal? Or does this mean they're taking away the normal pictures?
That could be.
And now you have to pay for premium pictures because they're not going to do any of the normal pictures. Just craziness. Again, corporations love money.
Yeah, I feel like a couple of these are definitely, they're leaning toward, they're leaning into high end, like premium card flippers. Like the graders notes. Like, I believe the way the graders notes are now is they only go, they're not public. They're only the person that gets the card graded. Where this one, I would assume, is something where it's available to the public. But then also, like the premium photos are for people who never actually see the cards. The cards just end up in a vault somewhere, or whatever, and that way they don't have to worry about it. They can get it listed, as soon as they get the grade back before, and they just have it listed. And then the third one was the sleeves. I agree with Joe 100%. I know. I think Mike has felt the same way. Those sleeves they scratch up the case. Like, they're terrible. They're a horrible idea. The fact that they're charging $2 a piece, when, like Mike said, you can probably get a bag of them for $1 at your local card show or card.
They don't say PSA. EP. Come on, man. They don't say PSA at the bottom. Yeah.
Well, that's not the only PSA news. PSA is expanding. They are adding 2 new US-based grading locations to try to, help with the demand for their services. The first one is going to be in Plano, Texas, and that is going to focus on ticket grading, and the ticket grading will all be centralized there. Imagine being somebody who's living in Southern California that now has to go live in Plano, Texas. But I digress. And their second location, they're going to add trading card services out of Boca Raton, Florida. So yeah, great times, right?
That town sounds familiar. Like, what is Boca Raton?
Oh wait, there's more written. Oh, trading card services out of the same office that's used by SGC. But don't worry, they're still going to be independent companies. Yeah, like, they're moving in with their girlfriend, but don't worry, they're not a couple. They're just, they're living together, separate lives, separate bills. They're each going to pay. Maybe SGC needed help with the rent. I don't know. But yeah, PSA is opening in Boca Raton in the same complex, which I have like, what does that even mean? That means the building that SGC's in, right?
Yeah.
I think they're in like I don't want to call it a strip mall, but I think I think they are in like one of those like outdoor strip mall type things. So there probably are other office buildings, but Plano, Texas is where BGS is at. Just FYI. Like, think that's not nothing either. I mean, they're literally going to. I mean, you could argue.
So you're saying PSA bought BGS?
No, I'm saying that the people that you were worried about going from having to live in California to Texas, which, by the way, some people would, they'll probably just steal BGS.
A lot of people have moved from California.
Yeah, Texas.
Don't make it a political thing. It was just a joke about the weather.
No, I'm saying Texas. I'd love to move to San Antonio. It's beautiful. Austin is also beautiful. But yeah, Plano, Texas. That's BGS's headquarters. Wouldn't surprise if I'm kind of guessing that there's a reason for that. Texas is a big state. They could have moved anywhere. And then, of course, Boca Raton. Not just that, but isn't CGC located down there as well? They're in Florida. I don't know how close to Boca Raton they are, but SGC definitely is. And they'll probably have there's probably a location right next to SGC, if not in the same suite, right next to that suite that they're taking over. And yeah, how long before, what's the over under on how long before Collectors just says, okay, SGC, you can stop being SGC now? What's the over under? A year, 2 years?
I don't think it goes away, but I mean, obviously, I think the things are like things. It makes things a little bit murkier if you have the same thing going on at the same company, and you hope that they're not sharing, like facilities and like material, like what's the word I'm looking for, like desks and like the materials they use to like raid stuff. You know what I mean? Like hopefully it's a little like a separate kind of thing. Because if the same people are grading the same card, like if the SGC people end up grading cards for PSA, that aggravates me. That's definitely not something that I would be behind whatsoever. They should remain two separate companies. It's going to be difficult if they are in the exact same building together, like the same rooms together, so stuff like that. It's going to be more difficult. I know as an example, one of the guys I used to work for, one of my old editors, he worked for a paper that had their newsroom. There was a morning paper and an evening paper, and those two papers worked to separate papers. Different editors worked in the same newsroom. Each desk had two sets of locked drawers that people could lock when they leave for the day, and so the people would leave and then come in. And other people would work there. It sounds like the strangest thing in the world to me. And that was for journalistic integrity competition. They try to keep it separate. I don't see SGC and PSA going into that kind of in any way trying to go into that kind of detail to take care of it. I hope SGC stays, Joe. That me saying that I don't think it's going to happen is me hoping that it doesn't go away. Very well could be. I mean, PSA obviously is so much bigger. The one really big thing that I dislike on this is that SGC has been, I believe their orders have been slowing down, where they're not doing like within 10 days anymore. I think they're like 20 days now or even more possibly for getting the stuff out.
PSA model EP, they're already falling in line. Right.
So I mean that's frustrating. And if again, hopefully they're in a separate building. But if they're starting coming in here and taking some of the resources that the SGC is using, and they're already behind, SGC is already behind, that's going to also slow down their times too, and maybe even hurt their quality of grading. And the last point that I this was actually from the previous thing, the PSA is only taking how long to grade cards, and they're like wiping them down. Like what I mean, like if they're going to pay for extra for the service, like they think about the number of cards and stuff like that, it's going to slow down things even more. The grading, everything in the grading industry right now is kind of scary to me.
Some other info about this: they submitting directly to Boca Raton is not part of the initial plan. They put initial in there, so just keep that in mind. But collectors may start receiving orders from Boca Raton by this fall. I mean, from the start, they're not keeping SGC. They will eventually. There's a theme to today's show so far is PSA likes money, right? PSA will make more money by incorporating the people they have working at SGC into PSA than they will by letting SGC be independent. Like, it just doesn't make any sense business-wise to continue to operate with an independent, like, for the foreseeable future. I don't know how long it's going to take. I wouldn't be surprised if within the next year or two that they're gone. There's too much money to be made. You're talking about a company who's way behind already. You're talking about a company that needs more graders. They have a company that has graders that could help with that. They have a location that they can use, which suddenly you're opening an office in the same complex. Like, the writing's on the wall. The end of SGC is sometime in the near future.
That's why I said my over under is a year. What do you guys
sad,
think? Over or under?
But maybe a little over. I'm going to go with the between 1 and 2 years thing.
Okay.
But I wouldn't be surprised if they're done in a year either. So
it's whenever that company, the other office is completely up and running, right? I like that would be my guess. And real quick, back to the Plano, Texas thing. One thing that BGS is still kind of known for is just straight up authentication, not specifically cards and card grading, but their authentication services. And didn't you say the PSA office that's opening up in Plano is to like authenticate things?
Yeah, like ticket grading. It's ticket grading and authenticating.
Yeah, man, they're really. I mean, if you're CGC, man, you might want to buy up empty offices in your town wherever you're at, so PSA doesn't come in and take over that area too.
Yeah, Joe, I'd say take the over on that as well, just because they're not going to be up and running in time for a year. I think it's probably a little too much time, but yeah, I could totally see. Again, as much as I want SGC to survive, I can see the writing on the wall as much as you guys.
Well, maybe the SGC employees that go by the wayside after that happens can go to work for Walmart, because Walmart is going to be they actually did a live break. Walmart is breaking. Okay, well, maybe not the company itself, Walmart, but Walmart teamed up for their first ever live break. They're using Walmart Live, just like everybody now has to have a live shopping. I can't wait till they like get in there and they sell all their great value stuff on Walmart Live. Won't that be great? That'll be so much fun. But yeah, Walmart Live, they partnered with We the Hobby to run a select football break last Friday. It was hobby boxes of select football. And yeah, this is not Walmart doing the breaking, but Walmart is now the new Whatnot and the new Fanatics Live and the new eBay Live. Walmart wants to get their piece of that and into card breaking. Does this make any kind of difference in the hobby, or do they just take a little bit of it, or do they have a chance to be like a major player?
We talked about Walmart getting into cards, God, months and months ago at this point. I said, if one company, I think it was the eBay thing, they were, maybe kind of competition for eBay in some sort of way. And I remember saying the only company that could really do that, in my opinion, was Amazon, but Walmart's not nothing, I believe was my quote. Yeah, like I like it just for a competition standpoint. I mean, like Fanatics is the monopoly. I'm sorry, I can't say that word, but Fanatics is a monopoly. And they're kind of taking over everything. So to have like a major corporation get involved in this is not a bad thing. I mean, we did a video, not many people watched it because not many people agree with the fact that Fanatics has done anything good in the hobby. But we did a video, 5 things that Fanatics has done good in the hobby. And one of them was kind of like reining in the Wild West of breaking a little bit, with Fanatics Live. Maybe you have Walmart can do the same thing. It's a major corporation. They don't want I don't think they would be a fan of breakers dipping cards or people not getting what they bought, right? And they would definitely take care of that on that end. So yeah, competition ain't a bad thing. And just like Dick's Sporting Goods, just like why can't I think of the GameStop? I mean, actual legitimate corporations involved in cards, probably not the worst thing in the world, considering where we're at right now.
Yeah, I agree 100% with you, Joe. Like they're already worried about regulation, worried about the government watching them and watching what they're doing. So they're gonna do everything on the up and up. Where again, like you said, it's like the Wild West out there in some of these other places. I feel like the hardcore hobbyists are gonna like, I only break live on Whatnot or Fanatics Live or whatever, but they're like, you think about the Walmart user base, the massive probably Walmart user base, like that's going to draw in some people who might not have gotten a break otherwise, and there will be some people who will use it once or twice and prefer that. Like there's a lot of things that you prefer different, like the user interface, that sort of stuff. There'll be people who migrate to that if this ends up becoming a thing, of course. And I don't know, I didn't see the prices. I don't know what the prices were, but if they're competitively priced along with or maybe if they're even like, less competitive, if they're cheaper than some of the other prices because of it being Walmart and Walmart doing like Walmart things. And also, I mean, they're not going, like, I would think that their people on their platform don't be charging over as much as some of the other ones, possibly in the whatnot area where there's like people can charge whatever they want or whatever. I feel like there's a potential there for it to be really good. I agree 1000% with you, Joe, about the competition. Competition is always good, even if it's in breaking something I'm not into. But that's I always like to see competition keeps other people in that field honest.
I can't wait to get in the first ever Chinese knockoff breaks that they do for select football. That Walmart will have a great value brand that they're bringing in from China. Yeah, I don't know. I joke, but you never know. Well, Joe mentioned a little bit about GameStop. Apparently, the GameStop CEO, I think they just bought a bunch of Bitcoin, something like that, $500 million worth or something. And the CEO was doing an interview with them, and he says that the stores are starting to shift their focus from video games to collectibles and trading cards and grading. I mean, we've talked about this numerous times already. We see GameStop becoming like a franchised card shop. It's right there. They already have the infrastructure in place. They're all over. I mean, it's just too simple of a transition. They're clearly going to do that. We talked about how long is it going to be before SGC is gone? How long is it going to be before GameStop is a card shop first and might sell some games? They might even stop selling games altogether. Does anybody buy a physical game anymore? I don't even know if they do. I haven't bought one in a while, but yeah, they putting the CEO right from his mouth confirming that they're kind of turning into a card shop.
Hey, smart. What a great, like you see like some of these like blockbuster type of places, FYE, going by the wayside because they didn't change with the times. And now you've got a company like this is, I almost want to call it like the Netflix model. What was Netflix before, where you could actually go and get physical?
They used to send you in the mail.
They used to send them, or you could go to
then
a
you
kiosk.
had to send it back. Yeah.
Right. So like, and then they changed with the times, right? And I think GameStop is seeing that people aren't buying these physical games anymore. I haven't bought a video game in freaking forever, but like I wouldn't go and buy a physical game. I would just download it. It's easier, right? Mm-hmm. And you don't have to worry about the disc skipping, or you don't have to worry about anything like that. You can just, upload the game. So they're seeing the writing on the wall, and they're like, this card thing is kind of big. Let's see what we can do with that. And that way GameStop can still exist. I'm sure they will still have some games, but primarily collectibles. I mean, you go into a GameStop now. Hell, you went into a GameStop a year ago. They had a ton of collectibles even before this. They were selling packs of cards, but then they also were selling Funko Pops and action figures and things like that. So it's not that big of a transition for them. They already have the staff built up. It makes perfect sense. It's kind of like, I think I refer to Cards HQ as kind of like the Walmart of cards a while back when Geoff Wilson first opened up his store. I kind of feel like GameStop might be that, if Walmart's not going to be like that. Hey, if GameStop can be like that, like the Walmart, you're not going to have card shop people. You won't have people with like our knowledge or our viewers' knowledge and experience on cards working there, probably. But as long as they have enough to know how to put the cards out, how to ring you up, and how to send stuff off to be graded, and they've done the grading part all right. I haven't heard many stories about people complaining that GameStop screwed up their cards or anything like that. So I don't know. It's a good model, and again, when you have these large corporations in this space, it's not a bad thing.
Yeah, I think the deal is that people buying games now are buying them as collectibles. They're buying them to have a collection of physical games, and so that fits in with this whole model where they can keep games and just be part of their collectible space. The games for years, games have had special editions with like steelbook cases, and you could open it up and there's like a Halo helmet inside or something like that. So that space is it isn't as crazy as our current space. The amount of money that is changing hands isn't close. There are some high-end games or whatever in the collectible space, but it's not the same. So I feel like them broadening this section of it to the point where they're probably gonna, the shelving space for the games are gonna continue to get smaller and smaller as this other stuff moves in. But I think they can keep both of it. And then the other point is like Pokemon is technically a game. It's a TCG, so like they can keep
What?
the name GameStop. Yeah, they can keep the name.
Good point.
Yeah, keep the name GameStop, and it fits in with everything, and they'll be able to continue to do their thing. And I'm excited about it. I've shopped at GameStop for as long as I can remember. For as long as I could drive, I shopped at a GameStop to buy the games, that sort of stuff. So it's pretty cool that they're going to be able to survive. There was a point where I think all of us were like, oh man, like GameStop's not going to be around much longer, right? But I mean, they've been able to evolve and kind of add these things in and offer some stuff that like those Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle cards that I got a couple months ago. I don't think they're sold exclusively there, but that's where a lot of people were getting them from because of they were available there. So like I'm for it. I think it's pretty cool.
Okay, hear me out. I have an idea here. We all know that Nat Turner is on the board of directors now for GameStop, correct? Mm-hmm. We know that GameStop is doing a lot of grading, right? What if we saw that PSA is opening up their own submission drop-off like at Burbank Cards? What if you could take your cards to a GameStop and a PSA hired employee would be there and they could grade the cards on site for there?
Every city in America.
Yeah. Like, it's not impossible though, is it? Like maybe, we always talking about evolving. What about grading? Maybe the whole having to mail the cards that you might not really feel comfortable mailing, or if you have an expensive card, you're like, how do I get this to PSA? Maybe a way they could evolve would be to have actual PSA hired graders and have them hired and trained to work at GameStops to grade the cards that are brought into that particular store. They know how many they're getting from each store. Maybe not start off with all of them clearly, but add that to some of the stores. Why is that crazy? I think that sounds brilliant.
No, it's great. Yeah,
no, but I'm laughing because you were saying about the graders having to move from California to Texas. Yeah,
you're going to be from Sacramento. No, you can't take the other people away. They were the ticket people. Nobody cares about them anyway. The card graders, though, they would have to be hired and trained by PSA. You'll be hiring new people to staff these stores. You can't. It would be no net gain if you're taking away from somewhere. But
that scenario, which makes sense, kind of tramples the joke of someone from Sacramento having to move to Buckhorn. That's all I'm saying.
It's not Sacramento. It's like LA.
No, the office is in Sacramento, isn't it? Isn't their office PSA's office in Sacramento?
I don't think so.
Anyway,
goes to Northern California.
Palisade. Anyway, regardless. The problem, you couldn't have it in every store, obviously. You would have to have it the high volume stores, I would guess. But then you're also like, is it a once a week thing? Is it a once a month thing? I don't think they could support a grader there every day. It would have to be pretty limited. But overall, it's not a bad idea.
I think it's a great idea. I mean, like, if you think about it, like, excuse me, one of the things that I dislike about the grading stuff is the cost of the shipping, right? So if there were, say, 5 locations in Pennsylvania, right, and one of them was like State College or Harrisburg or whatever, like, I would definitely consider, like, think about driving the cars there as opposed to shipping them, even if it was just a bulk order or whatever. Like if it was close enough within an hour or maybe 2, I would definitely choose driving there to drop them off as opposed to mailing them, and even a bulk order. So I like this idea a lot. Good job, Mike. Okay, call Nat Turner. Call him up. Say, hey, listen.
Nat watches. He's watching.
Yeah.
It's Santa Ana, which is by LA.
Santa Ana. Okay. Yeah. I knew it was something with an S. I knew it was something.
Southern California. Yeah, it's so much better down there.
No, Buckhorn, then Southern California. That's usually how I rank them.
Buckhorn. I'm looking out the window right now. It is beautiful. I see trees, blue sky, nicely manicured lawns. Like,
don't tell them about November to about, what do you think, April?
Goes like that. It's really not a problem. All right. Well, we joked a little bit about it at the top, but did you guys see? Yes, you did, because I made you. Geoff Wilson's back with another let's troll and divide the hobby, even though I'm the biggest hobby name on YouTube. And instead of trying to make it a peaceful place, my new gimmick is to now troll people to get everybody fighting about the stupid thing and cause more division in the hobby than there already is. So yes, this is his new gimmick. I would call it a heel turn, but he's not a very good heel. He's kind of, when you take that milk toast baby face and try to turn him heel, he's too pretty to turn heel, so it just doesn't work. But yes, he released a video now called "Is Breaking Evil?" My God, like, come on. We have had a lot of comments about breaking. We have had discussions with people who own breaking companies that are afraid to name what the name of their breaking company is in the comment, and when you call them out, they delete all their comments. But I digress again. I don't think we've ever called breaking evil. It's the truth. We haven't called breaking evil.
It's evil all caps too, wasn't it? In that title?
Evil, yes.
All caps, yeah.
I watched this video on 2x speed because I wasn't going to waste 28 minutes of my life. I just wasted 14. He talks about the entertainment value of it, how it's just a new way of buying a box, and you pay a little more because you get the entertainment of watching somebody else open the box for you. Also, like, talks about how there's all different kinds of breaking behavior, and if you don't like one, you don't. It's like watching TV. If you don't like it, just change the channel, find something else you like. Okay, I think that's maybe whitewashing the problems that are there. But I go on to the next point he was making, is that it's no more gambling than opening a box yourself. What's the difference? You open a box here or you open a box yourself. It's the same thing. People that call it gambling, you're just wrong. And, maybe if you don't like breaking, his solution is you should buy into breaks. This is a guy, first of all, who is doing almost $2 million a month now, he said, in breaking. So yeah, just like the person we used to argue with in the comments, you're running a business. You're going to have a certain opinion on this. I don't think breaking's evil. I've never said that. I've taken part in breaks. I know what it is. The one thing that I feel is it needs some regulation to it. The hobby can't regulate itself, and there are too many people that get ripped off by the bad breakers. There are a lot of good breakers that don't rip people off. You can't not everything is either this or that. There's a lot of other stuff going on here. He failed to mention, the company Whatnot that his business breaks on. How many people there will just drop a stream and refund people's money when they hit a big card and take that? Like, how many people will lose a card that somebody got? They'll dip the card off the screen. This has been happening for years now, and you're completely ignoring the fact that all that's happening. Part of the reason people don't like breaking is because there's no regulation. It's a Wild West. I don't need the government getting involved in everything, but there's a lot of money that is being put into breaking now. You're doing $2 million a month. Other breakers, you said, are doing over $100 million a year. That's a hell of a lot of money for people to maybe not know what the person's going to do. How do I know that one of your breakers isn't just going to take something? It can happen, and there's no repercussion for it. There's no laws about it. Like, I just want people to be protected. It is gambling. I look at it that way. When I participate in it, I know what I'm doing. I'm an adult that's making a choice. I'm not saying that it shouldn't be out there. A lot of people enjoy it. It can be fun. I just want to make it safer to make sure people aren't going to screw other people out of it. Is that saying that breaking's evil, or is that just being realistic?
Pass. I didn't watch this. I'm not watching Geoff Wilson content. What am I doing here? DP, you go.
Oh, okay. I mean, first of all, like, we need our leaders to not try to divide our community like more like that. That's ridiculous. Like,
that's his new gimmick, though.
But we look
controversial.
as much as we like, bag on him and like he's got the production value. He is the voice to a lot of people. If you Google it, he's going to be one of the first names to pop up. We need to hold him to a higher standard. We need our leaders to be held to a higher standard. And so that's upsetting there. The word choice, the word evil in all caps is like you could tell it. Again, trolling, he's going over the top with this. I don't think we've ever, like you said, we've ever used the word evil when talking about breaking. Box prices. At the very beginning, I watched the first few minutes of the video, first like 10 minutes of the video, and he talked about box prices and trying to say that the breakers aren't the reason why box prices are high. I was like, I mean, in theory they're not. His original argument is that box breaking is not evil, and I agree 100% with that. In concept, breaking is awesome. Breaking is cool. You can be part of a community, and you can get in there and get cars you wouldn't normally get. But the problem is that we talk about it all the time is that it's the money, and you see these companies that they know, well, I can charge $1,000 for this because I know the breakers are going to be able to make their money off of it. People are going to buy into it because they can get this $10,000 car out of the entire case or whatever. And so that is where the problem is. It's the money driving the money behind the manufacturers, them driving up the prices. It's not the breakers' fault. The breakers are just doing what they're doing, but it's that to say that the breaking is not the reason for the increase in prices is really upsetting me. That is the whole reason why they're able to charge what they are for the boxes.
Nothing, Joe.
I mean, he's a troll. What are we doing here? And I don't know. Like, I saw the headline. I'm like, first off, I'm not going to click on that because my algorithm finally got cleaned out. It's like a colon cleanse. It finally, yeah. I mean, I don't think he thinks most people think it's evil either. And it's almost like
total troll job.
And it's almost like he has some sort of vested interest in breaking. I don't know. I could be wrong, or this totally could be 100% objective. Breaking's not evil. We never said it was. We just needed to be safer for people. Again, one of the things that we talked about when we said the top 5 things Fanatics does good in the hobby is they make breaking a little bit safer for people. Whether or not you believe that, that's your call. But I truly believe that safe breaking can be fun. But when you're gouging people on the price, when you're losing their cards, right, and all that other stuff, yes. And then I believe, Mike, again, I did not watch it, but I think you used the term that Geoff said. It's a free market. It's a free market. If you don't like it, just go somewhere else. The problem is the spot you left, right? So it's a free market. So you left that other breaker who's like doing bad things. Someone else is taking that spot who doesn't know. Like at the end of the day, someone's getting screwed. So why is that a good thing? If Geoff could run, and he probably does, runs a phenomenal breaking operation. It might be one of the safest out there. The prices might be competitive. I honestly don't know. The problem is laws and regulations aren't written for the people who are doing things right. Laws and regulations are written for the people who are doing things wrong or potentially could do things wrong. So the free market cannot fix that because, again, it's a wild, wild west out there. So if you're doing everything right, why would you care if it's regulated? I guarantee you Michael Rubin does not give a shit if it's regulated. I guarantee you would be like, regulate it, because we'll still be on top, because we're probably, even though we don't, I
probably
don't
be beneficial to them.
It would probably be because the competition would get thinned out real freaking quick, right? So yeah, I mean, if you are on the up and up and you're doing the right things, Geoff Wilson should be a champion for breaker regulation.
Yeah, there are companies that are more than happy to own casinos because you can still make a lot of money with it being regulated. Yes. I do take a little bit of a issue with him with the gambling thing. There is a little bit of difference between buying a box and buying a random spot that you might not get anything. At least you have something for the box. So it's not the same. I understand the point you're making, but again, you're just oversimplifying things to make
especially for products like Flawless. Like you buy into a Flawless break, or what is it, Topps Dynasty? Is that the big one for that?
One of them, I think,
yeah, where it's like literally less than 12 cards, 15 cards, right? And the spots are super expensive. there is a better than even chance mathematically that you will get skunked. If it's a random team situation, there is a better than even chance, and they are very, very expensive. So yeah, it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing at all. And who's paying for entertainment to watch someone else open their cards? These are people who were sheltered in the 90s and never opened up a box of their own stuff, because opening up boxes of cards, I don't even like, I prefer to buy singles just from a where I'm going to spend my money kind of way. But man, there is nothing funner than sitting down and ripping open a box of cards. And if you ever have a chance to open up a case of cards, that's awesome too. That's so much fun. So yes, I'm not paying for the entertainment for someone else to open up my box. I'm paying to maybe hit the jackpot. That's what I'm paying for, not the entertainment. It's not going to the movies, you ass.
I can't follow that.
No, you can't. I'll follow it up. Upper Deck has announced a new authentication feature for its RPAs. Every RPA in 2023-24, yes, 2023-24, the cup, is like 2 years behind, will be slabbed, photographed, and have a QR code on the slab that links the card to a database. It'll have the pictures there, so you'll be able to tell if the patch has been swapped out or anything. Interesting way to do it.
Their cards having patches swapped out, so this makes
sense. They do,
yes.
So they want to do, the one issue is you're slabbing the card. So what if somebody wants to get it graded?
Upper Deck, it's here, it's time.
Yes, but Upper Deck was talking about this. They said the grading companies want them to provide photos and stuff so they can check and have a database. So they're hopeful that they will be able to find a way to add the serial number that Upper Deck is putting on it, either maybe on the label to the card or in their database when you click on the certification from the card. So the person can also check the Upper Deck authentication to make sure it's the card. Now, I also feel like you shouldn't have to do that if the grading company is grading it and, authenticating the card. I kind of feel like, okay, you have this authentic card, you can check the database for the authentication. Once it goes in the PSA slab, they are assuming they are authenticating it using that process, then it should be okay, but I don't know. Maybe it would be better to have a serial number. Tell me what I think. I don't know.
So you're saying that on this slab, this Upper Deck slab,
there's a QR code.
There's going to be a QR code. Here's an idea for companies going forward, especially with like the RPAs, right? So you click on this QR code, you hit it on your phone, and the actual card from Upper Deck pops up. So if the patch is correct, maybe if the auto was played around with, things like that, you can see that. Why not you can make QR codes pretty small. Put it on the back of the card. Card companies, what are you doing? Why not just QR code the cards? Like, especially the high-end stuff. Because at the end of the day, no one looks at the back of some of these cards anyway. Like, you look at the most recent Topps Chrome product, the unlicensed NFL or unlicensed football Topps Chrome product. The back of the card had like one line on it. It was like, this player plays in the football league. Like, it was like, there's nothing on the back of these cards.
Wow.
Put a QR code so you can verify. I think that would be a smart way to do it.
Yeah. And
that way you don't have to slab it. You're saving money on, God rest the environment. You're saving money on having to slab these things. And then there's the whole question about grading them. Why, what are you going to do if you want to have it graded and now you have to snap it out? Now there's another opportunity for that card to be damaged because of having to snap it out of a case and all this other stuff. So yeah, just put the QR code on the back of on the card. Come on.
Bring back awesome card backs too. I mean, what's going on?
Do that.
These card backs I agree with that 100%. Some of them are absolutely terrible. I think does this mean that Upper Deck's getting into grading? Are they looking into their own slabbing process and they're going to start into grading? No,
no, they're not. No.
And why would you not partner with a grading company to just have the cards slabbed and graded in a slab, like out of the pack. Like, well, I mean, at this point, why not do that? Like there was that the Donruss Preferred. There was one that was back in the 90s that we got.
The problem is though, EP, if somebody gets the one that was graded a 5, they're going to be pissed off. So they would rather it be in their own slab, and then you find out it's a 5 after you send it, instead of it originally being a 5. That I guarantee you that's why.
Remember when they used to put graded cards in, like I think Playoff Momentum had them and things like that, and you pull it out and it's
Collector's
like an
Edge.
8. What the hell are you? How did I get an 8 on this card?
And they were mostly 8s too.
They were mostly 8s. Yeah.
Joe mentioned Topps Dynasty a little while ago there. They have patch cards in Topps Dynasty. Really cool. They're taking the logo. They use Paul Skeens as their example. And the logo's cut in half on the patch. So you have the pirate logo. One half is on a card and the other half is on another card. But instead of making the card out of 2, they took a picture of Paul Skeens like this, and then a picture of Paul Skeens like this, and made them both 1 of 1s, and put the one half a patch in one half patch in the other. Why do we have to make everything a 1 of 1? Would those cards have less value if they were 1 of 2 and 2 of 2? I disagree. I think they might have more value because people want both.
Yeah.
That's attainable. Whereas it's just so stupid. And the comments, let me say, I was proud of the hobby, because when Topps put those mock-ups out there, people really let them have it about it. It's not 2 1 of 1s. They are 2 of 2s. But yeah.
And by the way, I'm not disagreeing with you. I agree with 100% of everything you just said about it's stupid. It should be out of 2. But to answer your question, let's say Skeens or whoever, the next card is of or whatever. And in 10 years from now, no one's going to really remember that it's part of a hat. Like, so they can sell it as a 1 of 1. Like the hobby will say, oh, this is a 1 of 1. Like, yeah.
But they'll know there are 2 1 of 1s, and they'll be like,
in 10 years,
why does that person have a 1 of 1 too?
I mean, maybe
but
they will.
10 years from now, Joe, Paul Skeens will have like 8,472 more 1 of 1s. So
that's very true.
Right. Which means the 1 of 2s are even less valuable. I'm not saying
it might be more valuable 2 of 2, 1 of 2.
maybe
the 1 of 2s are more than the 1 of 1s.
The Skeens out of 499 will be the most valuable because it probably has less than
EP. How many gold refractors are worth more than like the green refractors or the orange refractors?
Right.
People like the gold better than the orange. The ones out of 50 are worth more than ones out of 25 anyway.
Yeah.
So I just think if you did 1 of 2 and 2 of 2, that would create competition for somebody wanting to get both of them, which is actually something different in the hobby a little bit. Kind of. It's kind of like a rainbow, but not a rainbow, but really special one. I don't know. I think do something different. I just want something fucking different.
I like the idea of it.
By the way, I've been saying freaking a lot in this episode because I wanted to curb the swearing, but here we go.
I'm the host. I can do whatever I want to.
Potty mouths.
No, I love the concepts of the 1 of 2, but our hobby is, I think our hobby is obsessed with 1 of 1s as they are with grading. Like I feel like those 2 things are the things that are driving everybody in the hobby, and they all like, is it a 1 of 1 or is it graded or both? And then I want to correct you, Mike, because you said about how they took a pic of him one way. They didn't take a pic. They wanted to flip in Photoshop. Well, listen, this is about there's the laziness of the design and everything right now in cards is so ridiculous. They went into Photoshop and they said flip horizontal, and the photo went floop, and that's all they did with it to make the second card in this set. And
no, those are the die cut K cards. This one, the same thing? This one just has a slightly different angle. It's not even,
but it is a different angle for sure.
It's like when you take
it is. Yes.
Okay. It's like when you take a picture on your iPhone and it's like a live picture. They just paused it a couple of times. It was probably one picture that they paused a couple of times. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, God. I have one thing for each of you here, so you only each get to answer the questions I have for you.
Okay,
Joe, I want your thoughts. Since you sent me the picture of it, I want your thoughts on Topps Chrome Marvel, stealing the design of the 90 Impel Marvel Universe.
Don't shake your head. I want to hear EP's thoughts on this now.
That's why Mike's not letting us answer both.
Okay, go ahead. Both answer. We have time.
So yes, for those of you who don't know, Topps Chrome Marvel is coming out. The nameplate for the characters is the nameplate that was used in 1990. Impel was a company that turned into Skybox. Skybox then turned into Fleer Skybox, and then both of those companies were bought by Upper Deck. The IP is with Upper Deck. Marvel did own Fleer Skybox for a hot minute, but sold the IP, and that's how Upper Deck can make the retro cards, which show that design. My whole point is, and they're doing it on purpose. It's not like, oh, isn't this a interesting way to do a nameplate? They're clearly homaging it, which, again, I don't have a problem with in general. But if Upper Deck did the same thing and homage the 52 mantle, I've said this before, I'll say it again, there would be lawsuits. That seems this is the second time now Topps has done something kind of Upper Deck's thing. And hey, maybe it'll mean Topps will actually make good cards if they're just stealing Upper Deck's ideas, right? But no, there's no denying that they're doing this on purpose to create that connection between them and 90MU. I like it as a collector. I think it's BS if we're going to talk about what IP belongs to who. It definitely belongs with Upper Deck. EP defend fanatics.
Go ahead, EP.
I'm not here to defend fanatics. All I'm saying is, for one, I can find a million kinds of those banners and put them in my newspaper and in the Tuesday edition. Like, I can totally do that. That said, this is clearly like a copy. This is an homage to that set. But I look at it as an homage as well. It's an homage to Fleer and Upper Deck and like all those products that happened before it, and they are trying to capture that. And I don't think one nameplate. The rest of that card is completely different from the Impel set, the 90 Impel set.
Then the only part of it thing different. Make the entire thing different. That's silly. If you're going to make the 99% of the card different, and it's not 99%, it's like might be 90% of the card different, then just have different nameplate. Create something new.
Well, if I was creating it, I would have made something new because I want to see new freaking cards. I don't want stuff. The rest of that card is new. Why would you? It feels like again. The lack of creativity, the lack of collectors in Fanatics and Topps right now is so frustrating to me because they could have had this brand new card with this whole new design that looks so dated in that photo compared to everything else on that card. That's the part that bugs me. Like I said, you can find something like that anywhere. There's going to be people that are going to be thinking that, well, I've seen that on like business cards, whatever, for a million years.
But
so it's not a new thing, but why not make something completely new for this is going to be their first like Topps Chrome product with I guess they had the UK one, but the first US like Topps Chrome product since they got this license. Like make it yourself. Like make it make it like something that's Topps. Instead, they chose to pay homage.
All right, this last one is for you, EP, because I was on Collect Media, Darren Ravel. Mm-hmm. I believe, didn't they want to be the first like legitimate hobby news source? Wasn't that the whole spiel when they were beginning this?
Something like that, yeah. But I mean, throwing like Source Collectors Daily onto the bus or whatever too. But yeah.
Okay, so I was perusing stories on there the other day, and I noticed a little something. They had a story about CGC on there, and I clicked on that because I was kind of interested. And when I clicked on it, there was a little disclaimer at the top of it that said that Collect is publishing a series of stories highlighting CGC's growth and future initiatives as part of a paid sponsorship. So the legitimate news media is taking money to print positive stories on their legitimate hobby news site about CGC. as somebody who has a newspaper, EP, how much money do you make a year from people paying you to write, nice news stories about them? You must be rolling in the money by this point.
As somebody who has a newspaper, as if it's my own that I.
Well, it pretty much is, right?
No, not even close. Like there's so many layers and layers above me. But no, this is that is not journalistically. Just a little side story here. There was a video game website that I loved, or like a video game personality that was great, that was on GameSpot, and he ended up doing a review for a video game that they had these like ads plaster all over for this game. He got fired because his review was like, this is a 2.5. Like this game is terrible. Nobody should play it. He got fired and then ended up making his own company and making like tons of money doing stuff on his own. And so like he had the integrity that a lot of people, like those game companies, there's a lot of those giant ads for those companies. A lot of time, and you wonder a lot of times if they're giving grades based on the amount of money that was spent advertising. That is not journalism. You don't change what you're like. You don't change your editorial content because of that. Now we have had times where we've had like full page ads in our paper that look like a newspaper photo, but you must put a thing in. This is a paid advertisement across the top of it, and that's kind of what they're doing in that regard.
Yeah,
but also running it in the stream of their other stuff, like not separating it in any kind of way, really feels kind of gross. Like that feels like something
I didn't know it until I
like
clicked on it, and then
oh wait, so it's not even obvious in the little like warning.
No,
thing?
Like, so you go to their home screen and they have the list of all the stories. It wasn't until I clicked on it and then opened up the full page of the story at the beginning of it. It stated that before it went into it, but yeah, I didn't know it when I clicked on it.
Like we have to make our money somehow, and like I said, those full page advertisements. But what we refuse, we make sure to put that thing on them. As far as publishing something in our normal run of like stories on our website, like we would never do that. Like I don't think there's any way we would ever get around putting something like that in there. It feels kind of gross to me. I don't want to say that they're. I'm not saying that the journalistic integrity has been compromised in any way or anything like that. Like I don't know what's going on in the background there, but I know for our paper we would never do something like that.
How much would it cost to get an article in the paper about the growth of the Mike's Retro Trading Cards YouTube channel?
We would not. There's no. I mean, if you want to buy a full page ad, we'd be okay with that.
No, just doing. I want it done like an article, right, Joe?
I'm gonna pass on paying to have an ad. I thought we had an inside thing here with having
you're saying we're not Geoff Wilson. We don't pay to get subscribers.
No.
If
all natural, baby.
If somebody was like a fan of ours and they said, "Hey, look, these guys are doing it. This guy works for you." They could come to me and say, well, either they might say, well, because our guy's working on it, we can't really do a story on that because then it's promoting one of our own. But if enough people did it, they'd have to say, okay, well, we have to somebody do it, but they would definitely not let me write the story. Like there would be separation between me and the reporter as far as
I thought Rob handled everything at the paper.
Yeah, we'll talk to Rob.
He does do most of it.
Yeah, we'll talk to Rob. By the way, when you said news companies have to make money somehow, I don't know why, but I'm just imagining that there is a Daily Items Only fan situation going on.
Okay, well, that's all we need to do.
It actually.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I think it's time to wrap it up there, guys. That was a pretty good chat this week, and I will see you next week. Take care, guys.
Fuck.
Adios.